Buckingham Palace has announced the King has cancer. He's stepping back from public engagements while he undergoes treatment, but will continue with state duties. In this bulletin, we'll hear the latest from our royal correspondent Johnny Diamond. We'll also examine the constitutional implications of the announcement. In other news, the governing executive in Northern Ireland has met for the first time in 2 years, with agreement on the need for more cash.
The funding package that we put on the table before Christmas, I think, has been widely recognised as being significant and generous, £3.3 billion.
Police hunting the fugitive suspected of carrying out a corrosive substance attack in South London have arrested a 22-year-old on suspicion of assisting an offender. Labour has criticised the Prime Minister after he appeared to accept a bet during a television interview about removing asylum seekers to Rwanda. And
what's your name, lad? Well, you should know by now. You've been a friend of my mum since before I was born.
Ian Lavender, or Private Pike, as many will remember him, has died. Buckingham Palace has announced King Charles has been diagnosed with cancer and will step back from public engagements while he receives treatment. Officials haven't revealed the type of cancer, but have confirmed it's not of the prostate. The King was diagnosed and discharged from hospital after surgery for an enlarged prostate last month. Live now to our royal correspondent, Johnny Diamond.
Just 7 days after he left hospital for a corrective procedure on an enlarged prostate, an announcement from Buckingham Palace carried the news of the King's condition. The King says the palace does not have prostate cancer, but a separate concern was noted and subsequently diagnosed as cancer when he went into hospital 10 days ago. The King says the palace is grateful to the medical team treating him, wholly positive about his treatment, and looks forward to returning to public duties as soon as possible. Some engagements will be cancelled, though the Queen will continue her public work. The King commenced treatment today. It's understood that the King hopes to continue the weekly audience he holds with the Prime Minister, will read state papers, the red boxes, as usual, and will attend meetings of the Privy Council. It's understood that no councillors of state, constitutional stand-ins for the monarch, will be appointed. A palace source said that the Prime Minister has been informed and that the King told his brothers and sister and his children himself.
Our Home Affairs editor, Mark Easton, considers what the announcement means for the King's official duties.
Long-standing protocols are in place for just this kind of situation. The King's Private Secretary, Sir Clive Alderton, will have been in close contact with the Prime Minister's Private Secretary, Craig Williams, and the Cabinet Secretary, Simon Case, the so-called Golden Triangle, to ensure that the British state does not miss a beat as its head steps back from full-time duties. A number of councillors of state could act on the King's behalf. At the moment, they're not required. But if that changes, by law, they are the sovereign's spouse, Queen Camilla, of course, and the next 4 adults in the line of succession: the Prince of Wales, Prince William, the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, the Duke of York, Prince Andrew, and Princess Beatrice, Prince Andrew's elder daughter. The palace says the King intends to continue working on the red boxes of government and parliamentary affairs and will continue to have weekly meetings with the Prime Minister. If the situation were to worsen and the King was out of action when an election was called, councillors of state could dissolve Parliament and appoint a Prime Minister, but only with the King's express permission.
With details on the potential treatment the King will receive, here's our health correspondent, Dominic Hughes.
Cancer is predominantly a disease that affects older people. The chance of getting it increases with age. UK figures suggest, on average, each year, more than a third of new cancer cases were in people aged 75 and over. We don't know exactly what treatment the King is receiving, but as he's been seen as an outpatient, chemotherapy is a likely option. It's a treatment where medicine is used to kill cancer cells. And while there are many different types of chemotherapy medicine, they all work in a similar way. They stop cancer cells reproducing, which prevents them from growing and spreading in the body. It can be curative to cure the patient completely, or be used alongside other treatments such as surgery or radiotherapy. A course of chemotherapy can also shrink a tumour prior to surgery and reduce the risk of cancer returning after treatment. It's normally delivered either into a vein via a drip or in tablet form and can be used in combination with other drugs. But it's a powerful medicine and can cause some unpleasant side effects, including tiredness, nausea, hair loss and digestive problems. But they will pass once the treatment has stopped. There is also an increased risk of picking up other infections, as chemotherapy can lead to a weakened immune system. That could be part of the King's decision to withdraw from public life for the duration of his treatment. Medical experts tell us that the earlier a cancer is diagnosed and treated, the greater the chances of a positive outcome.